Good day, Fleshy Mammals. In today's video, we are going to be going over the update 8.0.0 patch notes. Now, I know I'm a little behind on this, but unfortunately, when these patch notes dropped, I was out on vacation for a week, so I wasn't able to record real quick and get it uploaded, but we're here now just to discuss it real quick, because I am taking a small break from the game itself. So anyways, there's a lot of good stuff in these patch notes, so without further ado, let's hop straight into this. First up, Chucky with a medium update. So, change. Decreased the Heidi Ho cooldown to 12 seconds instead of 18. That is huge. That is a huge buff in cooldown. Change. Chucky can only scamper while performing a slice and dice. In my opinion, this is how it should have been originally. I always thought it made no sense that he could just walk after you, slide under a pallet. Like, it just, in my opinion, that is a power. Just like Legion, just like Wesker, that is just something you have to pull up your power to do. So it just makes sense that this is just should have been a change. It should have been on release. And then decreases the time it takes to scamper to 1.3 seconds, which makes sense. If it's an ability, it should be a little stronger. So overall, I think this is good, except I think the cooldown is a little much. Now, if you didn't know, when you're using Chucky's Slice and Dice, like when you're in that dash attack, that is when it starts to cool down. It's not when you miss, it's when you are dashing. As soon as you activate the dash, it immediately starts the cooldown of his ability. So in my opinion, I would probably keep this, maybe make it even 10 seconds, but make it so that the cooldown starts after his dash, whether it's a missed attack or a hit, whatever it is. Make the cooldown afterwards. But other than that, good stuff. Maybe we'll see some more Chuckies. Next, Booba. Increases the chainsaw sleep duration to 2.5 instead of 2. So that would be the purple chili add-on at base. That is amazing. Increased chainsaw sleep movement speed to 5.35. That's good. That's like a, I think that's a yellow engraving default, if I am correct. That's really good. Decreased collision detection to help navigate tight spaces. Huge. Thank you. That will make it so like it's sort of like Billy where you can curve, but it's on Bubba where you can more like walk around. They'll make it a lot easier. So it's like a much slower curve, but easier to control. Decrease base tantrum time to 3 seconds. Thank you. I think that's just a quality of life change. And several add-ons have been adjusted accordingly. AKA, it would be the chilies, it would be the engravings, and it would be the tantrum decrease cooldown add-ons. So overall, good stuff. I can't remember the last time Bubba has been touched since his rework. So this is going to be interesting. I like to see this. It'll make him feel a lot better to play. You can run better add-ons, or not really better, but different add-ons, because every time you go against a Bubba, what is it? It's an engravings and it's a chili every time, unless, they don't like that extra, charge increase. So then they do like a primer bulb instead. Like it's always the same add-ons, if at all. There's a lot of Bubbas that don't run add-ons. So this will be nice for the people that don't really want to run 2 add-ons every time. So W change. I think this is amazing. Deathslinger. Decrease stun time when a survivor breaks free to 2.7. That is just as that is the same time as a hit attack cooldown. I don't think that's how it should be though, because when break it on the other side of the wall and they go away. If they're healthy, they go to injured with deep wound. I think it makes sense for it to be a little longer than the base hit cooldown, because like they'll be on the other side of a wall or something, so you don't have to actually do the swing and the hit, So I don't know that, but you know what? We'll see. When the game comes alive, we'll see what Death Learners do with that. Increase the reel speed to 2.76. Quality of life change. Increase movement speed while reloading to 3.08. Interesting. Okay. So then, that makes it so when you're reloading, you're just a little faster. So that's good. I think this is interesting. I think that will be a good change. And I think this is a little much. I think it should be, make it 2.8. Just make it a little longer than the actual hit cooldown speed. But other than that, good stuff. Wesker. Change decrease hindered penalty from infection to 4 from 8. Thank God. Thank God, dude. In my personal opinion, I think hindered should be removed entirely. I think it is a stupid effect. In the past when it was 8%, if you were getting tunneled, you were 100% screwed. 100%. There was nothing you could do about it. You couldn't use a spray in time because the sprays took too long. And if you really, really, really wanted to tunnel you, even if your teammates are taking hits, doing flashlight saves, you still had the 8%, and it was just stupid. Now it's down to 4%. So that's a little less significant, but that's still strong. In my opinion, I think it should be just removed entirely. I think it's still going to incentivize tunneling. But also we have infection is now reduced to 1% when hooked. So when your bar is at 50% when you're unhooked, now when you're unhooked, it'll just be pretty much at 0. I think that helps, but I think this wouldn't be necessary if this wasn't a thing. I'm telling you, this should not exist, in my opinion. It feels bad as Survivor, and as Killer, you're literally laughing because it's like the Survivor got a clown bottle broken over their head, and they're carrying the effect with them because they're just slow, and it makes no sense to me. But at least they're nerfing it after 2 years, so thank God. We'll just have to see. I still think that this should not exist. Blights change. Compound 33 now increased rush turn rate and duration by 11 from 3% or 33%. My apologies. Change iridescent blight tag now increased rush speed by 10% was 20. So these are his 2 iridescent add-ons. Good changes. I don't know why, even with the add-on rework, they're still so keen on having blight with OP add-ons. But this should, I think after this, I think his add-ons will actually be balanced, or at least more balanced. So good change. Shouldn't have been this way in the first place, but better late than never. Toolboxes. So we're off killers now. Increase toolbox sabotage speed across variants. Okay. Increase effects of sabotage related add-ons. Okay. Let's read the dev notes here. Toolboxes are often considered the repair item. This is 100% true. Actually, I'd say 99% true. But when you do look at them, you think repair. While this is fine for those who want to use them to repair, we'd like to make sure sabotage feels like a viable alternative. I actually think this is fine. As you know, I do mostly main killer, and I think this is actually okay. If this is really a problem, people just run agitation. People will still not really use their toolbox for Sabo though, because obviously, doing gens faster will get you guys out. Sabotaging only delays. which, you know, can help, but most of the time it's not that good. Killers just drop and they go after the other person, so then they have one person slugged, and then they're just after the rescuer, so then two people are off gens. But for the most part, I think this is actually a healthy thing to add, because it'll make, you know, it'll prosper more play styles that used to be very popular in the past, and it'll probably bring them back again. Let's see. So this update features balance changes to a selection of the strongest and most frustrating perks to face. The majority of these adjustments are slight. The intention is to keep the perks feeling effective and to bring them more in line with the other options. Deadlock change. Decrease block duration to -5 from before. Deadlock is quite easy to activate and it's quite effective. Okay. I don't know. That's weird. I hate, like, for some reason, these numbers just look weird to me. Like, I like the solid tier 330. I think it's fine. I don't think deadlock isn't really like the end of the world, because at least it doesn't regress your gen, but stacking with other gen perks can be annoying sometimes. But overall, I think that's okay. I don't usually use deadlock. I find it to be a very boring perk, even if it's effective. I just, you know, I like to use more fun perks. So, interesting change. Background player. Decrease movement speed to 150. So what it used to be before, but it decreased the exhaustion duration to 20 in tier 3. That is actually insane, and I like this. I think, you know, as a flashlight save perk, it was kind of, you know, it was kind of weird how you use it once and then, you know, you're on a large cooldown. And I also hated that you could speed across the map. I thought, you know, background player was never really much of an issue for me. You know, I thought you just look at the wall. And even if they get the save, well, the saver escapes. He's out of there. But the guy that was saved did not get that movement speed. So, you know, you can just go back for the guy that was just saved. And then, you know, the saver is on a 40 cooldown. But now it's swapped to where it's 150, but the cooldown's really short. I think this is interesting. It'll still be a good, you know, perk for flashlight saves. It's going to be much more manageable than sprint burst. And because I think it's at, the duration's at 4 or 5 seconds, you know, you could still use it to make a large amount of distance if you're not even getting saves, if you just want to travel across the map. I think that'll actually be a really good play style for it. So I think that's an interesting change. And I'm actually kind of, you know, looking forward to what it'll do for the meta. Grim Embrace. Decrease block duration to 6, 8, and 10. This is stupid. Like, Grim Embrace for the longest time was just straight up not a good perk. You know, because in the past, it used to not have this effect. It used to be only if you hooked all 4 survivors, you get 40 seconds of blockage. But now that, you know, the perk's actually decent, now they're nerfing it. I've never had a problem with Grim Embrace. In fact, I think Grim Embrace is good for the game, because not only does it incentivize killers to go away from the hook, but it also, you know, incentivizes survivors to go save their teammate. You know, because one person has to go get the unhook anyway. So if the gen's blocked, it doesn't matter for them. And the others can spend that time to heal or just wait out the, you know, 12 seconds. So I think this is a very, you know, I think, and, you know, in context, I think this is a dumb change. I think for some reason they're too scared of having good perks other than, you know, decisive and pain res. Decisive, and talk about decisive, reduce stun duration to 4 seconds. They have no idea what they want to do with this perk. Like, come on, man. They keep changing it from 3 to 5. Let's see. Actually, let's think about this. So originally it was 5, then 4, then it was, I think it was 5 again. Then it was reduced down to 3, and then 5, and then now back to 4. Like, they just can't make up their minds with what they want to do with this perk. You know, I've never really had a problem with decisive. I think when I tunnel, I expect it 100%. So when I get it, that's on me. I decided to do that. I know that in certain situations they force it, but most of the time you can just down them and keep going. Like, it really isn't that big of a deal. Pop goes the weasel. Decrease regression effects to 20%. They just changed it to 30 less than a year ago. They literally just changed. Come on. I think the reason they're doing this is because the pain res pop can be really annoying. But I like to use pop on its own. So I kind of find it dumb that, they're just nerfing this, because now alone it's not that good. So now it feels like it needs pain res to be good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Interesting change, I guess. Buckle up. Removed the endurance. New survivors healed from the dying state break into a sprint burst for 5 seconds. This does not cause exhaustion. Wow. That is actually insane. This is stronger, is it not? It does. Oh, it doesn't protect the rescuer. I mean, that's fine. So that means, for the people's a little less effective. But if you pick someone up, that person that was downed is out of there. And the person that usually picks up is healthy. So the killer just hits them and then they run off. Wow. I think this is actually strong. And, there could be a strategy where someone runs buckle up for the people and sprint burst. The killer downs the person. They throw on a pallet, stun the killer. The rescuer runs in, fours the people with sprint burst 99, and then both of them sprint burst away. That's just, hypothetical, but interesting. Yeah, I think this is interesting. I think there's potential. This is even stronger than before. Is it not? I think there's potential. I think it's more of they can't for the people in your face. Now it's, if they, revive in your face, the person that was slugged can get away. Interesting. I'm actually excited to see how this works. So, we're just gonna have to see in game. Pain resonance. Decrease regression to 10, 15, 20. Kind of the same with deadlock. Like, those numbers just look weird. Still gonna be the best perk in the game. Pain resonance, in the dev note, pain resonance finds itself in almost 40% of all loadouts. I wonder why. Maybe, hear me out, maybe it's because this game is geared towards having slowdown. But anyways, that's a topic for another debate. I think this is fine. I mean, 5%, whoop-de-doo. I mean, when you, I don't know. I still think it's good. I think that's enough time to get to a gen. If, you pain res it, it's close to done, and you can go. Pop goes the weasel. I think this is fine. I just don't like the looks of the number. I like the 25, 4th. But, all right. We'll just have to see. I don't think it's not going to shift the meta. It's still going to be in 40% of all low. Especially with all these other perks getting nerfed now. This is going to be, it's still going to be up there. It's still going to be number 1. And it's not even close. Weaving spiders. Decrease time to 60. Okay. Invocation price now regress at a rate of 1 charge per second was 20. Okay. So if you get interrupted, it doesn't instantly go to 0. But I mean, if you get interrupted by a killer, they're still gonna chase you away. I think this is fine. I think, some people find it annoying that all gens just have minus 10% to progress, but, you know, this could be a good meta change. You know, I think the trade-off of being injured all game is, you know, it's a pretty big one. So I think this is actually okay. I'm kind of excited to see, you know, what will come of it. Borgo, rework the lighting. W. And item previews. Reworked pop-up to be found in trial. This is good for newer players. I think this should be an option though, because this kind of looks ugly. I kind of just want to pick up an item. I know what they all do. And then the 8th anniversary, which if you didn't know, triple blood points right now. I think next week or 3 days, maybe 2 days now. Whenever the next week starts, it's going to be double XP and double rig fragments. So overall, interesting. I think all the killers are a W. Mastermind, I think, again, this should be removed. Toolboxes, sure. I'd like to see them used for a different, you know, objective rather than just gens all the time. So, interesting. I'm kind of excited to see what will happen to the different add-ons. Deadlock, you know, that's fine. I don't use it. I think, you know, it'll be a little less annoying to go against. After looking at the pain res numbers, I think this number looks fine now. Background player, I think I'd like to see this. I like it, you know, now instead of just a, you know, use it once, get a save, and GTFO, now it's, you know, you can use it multiple times. I like this. Yep. Grim Embrace, stupid behaviors, scared of having good perks, other than the, you know, other than the meta. Decisive, they don't know what they're doing with this perk, but that's, you know, that's fine. Pop goes the weasel. Why? Buckle up. I'm excited for this change. Pain res, numbers look weird. It's still going to be the #1 gen perk in the game without a doubt. And weaving spiders, W. We need to see more meta perks. Rework the lighting, W. Item preview, W. Hopefully they have a turn off feature. Thank you for sitting in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.